Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We are back. We're doing a best of one Zendikar Rising draft. Um, I've started to find this format to be pretty challenging to draft actually. Very, very challenging. It's hard to pivot and it's hard to jump into the right archetype right away. So it's very recently started to get very challenging to draft this format. Here, I think the safest pick is actually Vastwood Surge. It's good for kicker decks, it's good for +1/+1 counter decks, and it ramps and fixes, so it's good for landfall. It's good for the most amount of archetypes, and it's a powerful effect. Otherwise, there's Shatterskull Minotaur, which is a good party beater. Kargan Warleader, of course, good for the warrior deck. Felidar, good for landfall. Celebrant, good for clerics. Bubble Snare, playable for all blue decks. Removal. Seafloor Stalker, good for party, of course. Visionary, good for just value green, 4-drop. Royal Mage, good for wizards, good for high spell count decks. But I think we just started off with the Surge. All right, well, an appropriate follow-up pick would be the Balagad Recovery in green. It's a spell land. It's a good effect. Spell lands are still definitely good. Another Celebrant is in here. Bugcatcher, good for party. Allied Assault, good for party. Shadow's Verdict, playable, but not an exciting rare. Sellsword, good for warriors and party. Adept, good for party. Cleric, Chill Depths, playable in party. Field Research, good for kicker. And Skitter Sneak, playable for rogues. But yeah, we'll follow up with the recovery for now. All right, pick 3. So in green, we basically just have a Nectar Pod. I think that's weak enough where we don't want to pick that here. Hellhound. Gruul is one of the easiest archetypes to draft in this format I've found. I'm kind of okay taking that, although I would probably just take the Treachery instead and likely wheel the Hellhound. There's also Feed the Swarm. I can still do like a counters deck. Golgari counters, that's usually open, in which case Feed the Swarm would be pretty good. Removal. It's also a Myria Captain, that's more for a party deck. I'm fine taking the Treachery and getting a spell land. I'm kind of fine either way, either going Gruul or Golgari, just relatively safe and easy archetypes to get into. Vastwood Surge is going to be better in landfall. I'm going to take the Treachery, see if we wield a Hellhound. If we do, we're probably looking pretty good. Okay, so I can take the Baloth here. It's a good landfall beater, but there's also Spikefield Hazard. Another spell land. It is a good one. It can kill your opponent. It might be worth taking here. No green cards. I'm fine taking the Hazard. I think that's fine. Baloth would be a good pick, too. Um, but for now, yeah, I think I'm okay taking the Hazard. If you're playing a landfall deck in particular, you want to make sure you've got a ton of landfall. You're playing a ton of lands, so getting spell lands just helps that plan so much. All right, we'll take the Spikefield Hazard for now. So another Kargan Warleader. This is what I'm talking about. So pivoting is an option. Otherwise, we can take the Cleansing Wildfire, which is usually weak and usually wheels. The strongest card is Kargan Warleader by a mile. No good green cards in here. There is Prowling Felidar, good white landfall card if I want to go 3-color. I can do that. Here he's binding a little bit deep in white. I can take the Warleader and still pivot into a Warriors deck, especially since I'm seeing it 5th pick. Or I just take the Felidar and go down a landfall, 3-color landfall path, which I'm not in love with, but is a decent option. I think the safest way to do it is to just take the Felidar for now and see if those white landfall cards keep flowing. So Hellion is actually a good beater. I like the McKindy Ox too and Wildfire, but we'll take the Hellion. I think if I'm right, we could end up getting last pick Wildfire out of that last pack. So for now, I'm good with taking the Hellion. It's great for a landfall deck. It's a good body. Like I said, this is one of the easier decks to draft, which is nice. So here we can just take a McKindy Stampede, get yet another spell land, totally playable, and keep it going from here. So we can take a Molten Blast. It's playable removal. Otherwise, there's a Marasa Brute here and a Might of Marasa, but I think I'm okay taking the Molten Blast, seeing what's going to happen here. Shatterskull Minotaur, but yeah, we'll take another Prowling Felidar. Wheeling Bubble Snare, but Felidar is going to be very good for us, so we'll take that. I think we're likely to be 3-color landfall, which is fine. Can take the Ox here. I like it. It's a good landfall card. Adept and Sellsword would both be fine too, but if we end up splashing white, and we may not, we may just end up Boros Landfall, which I'm not even sure I've played before, but I'd like to play the Surge because I think it's quite strong for landfall. So we did get the Hellhound back, which is good news. I'm going to take it over the Nectar Pot. Splashing green does start to seem a little bit less attractive of an option, but we might still have to consider it. I'll take a actually Spare Supplies is probably just better than Tormenting Voice. We'll see if we get that Cleansing Wildfire back. That would be good. We did, so that's good news. It's actually just a great card for us. Also, possibly lets us continue in green, although really didn't see that much green. It very easily could just be Boros Landfall, which I'm okay with. Got that last pick Wildfires. This is what I'm talking about, why this deck is so easy to make. So Oran Reef Ooze is actually good in here right now. We've already got 2 Felidars. Could take a 3rd Felidar. We wheeled it last time. There's also Kalni Ambush, but Oran Reef Ooze is way too strong to pass, I think, unless we're not in green. But considering we already have 2 Cleansing Wildfires and a Vastwood Surge, I think we can easily get into green territory here. I'm going to cut the Molten Blast for now. So we'll take the Ooze over the Ambush just because Ooze is unbelievably strong. And hope to wheel the Felidar. That would be ideal. So, Spitfire Lagak, of course, playable, but I think we want the Roiling Regrowth. It gives us more fixing to splash either color. And on top of that, it ramps for landfall. Now, granted, we are a little bit light on landfall cards now, but I think ideally we'll be able to find some more. Hopefully get that Lagak back. It's not a highly desirable card. Lotus Cobra is a really nice pickup. Canyon Jerboa would be good too, but Cobra is, I think, going to be a little bit too good to actually pass in this deck. Turn 2 Cobra, turn 3 Surge is pretty sweet. Just lets you have all sorts of mana on turn 4. Even that turn you ramp, you get 2 extra mana to play something else, so that's pretty insane. Lotus Cobra lets you do some pretty unreal things. Now we're back into maybe splashing white territory, which I'm okay with. So, can take the Nectar Pot here. I'm okay with that. It's got Landfall. Rockslide Sorcerer currently works with Spikefield Hazard, Cleansing Wildfire, Balaged Recovery, Roiling Regrowth, Vastwood Surge. You know, we actually probably have enough targets where we just consider it. Doesn't have Landfall, but just a little pinger that can take out X1s on top of being a Hill Giant is actually quite good. And probably better than Nectar Pot, which is likely to wheel anyway. Okay, here we probably just take a Gnarlid Colony, perfectly fine card. It has synergy with our Oran Reef Ooze, and it's good early, good late, gives us some early protection. Doesn't look like we have a ton going on early right now, so I like that pick here. Some good blue cards, but I'm pretty happy with where we're at right now with the Naya build we have going, so I'm perfectly satisfied. Can take a Coom Warrior. It's kind of just another free pick for the deck, or we can take the Prowling Felidar and get yet another landfall creature. I'm kind of okay with the Coom Warrior, get another spell land. You can really just keep playing spell lands. They should be prioritized pretty highly, especially for a landfall deck. So we'll take that. This is just going to let us play a boatload of lands. Another Hellhound, definitely taking it. We've got a lot of ramp in here, so these Hellhounds are actually just big time beaters. So another Gnarlid Colony's fine. Hornbeetle is pretty sweet actually with Oran Reef Ooze. But kind of good on top end already. We easily can find some more. Gnarlid Colony's got a lot more modular capabilities to it, so I'd rather play that. We'll take the Felidar now. I'm fine just taking and playing a bunch of them. They're great for our deck. So we did get the Lagak back. We'll take it. We'll play it. Splashing Celebrant gives us a little bit of survivability, but Lagak with all of this ramp actually seems pretty good to me. We might be off the Rockslide Sorcerer despite it being a great card in a vacuum. With all of this ramp effect stuff we have going on, I think other options are better. We can take a Visionary here. It's a good card. We have a lot of 4-drops already. Probably don't need another Ox though. And I don't think we need the Bug Catcher. It doesn't really matter. We'll take the Ox. I don't think we're going to play any of them, to be honest. Just none of these cards matter either. Cut the white card, I guess. Doesn't matter. Cut the red card. So, I like what we're looking at. It looks good. It looks good to me. We have a whole pack too, so plenty of directions to go. We can take Nahiri's Binding. Double splash white, I don't love. We are very light on removal though. We basically have a Spikefield Hazard and that's it. That's not much. Can take another Hellion. Can take a Raptor. We have a lot of spell lands. Raptor on the splash though is a little bit more awkward. Like the only splash cards I'm really willing to do right now are the Felidar and I guess that's all I have, but double white splash seems awkward and unnecessary. Could take a Zendikar. It's also good with spell lands. It also has reach. We really don't have a lot of ways to deal with reach. It's an awkward first pick though. Guess we'll take it anyway. Another Vastwood Surge is pretty sweet. Could have had 3 Kargan War Leaders. That's pretty nuts. I'm going to take the Vastwood Surge though and be happy about it. So another Visionary is an option. There's Core Celebrant. There's a Fireblade Charger, which kind of gives us aggro protection. I feel like the deck kind of wants aggro protection. This is a 1-drop that can trade with 2 toughness creatures. Can sometimes get 2-for-1s. We already have a lot of top end. Let's fill out our early plays here. I think that's safer. Wow, Brushfire Elemental. Well, there's a remarkably strong card, so we'll take that. One of the better landfall cards we could have gotten. There's also a Prowling Felidar in there, which we might wheel. We're looking good. The only problem I see with this deck right now is once again kind of just very removal light. And a bit top heavy, but also keep in mind a lot of these top heavy cards are actually just spell lands. So just gives our deck a lot of gas. Wow. Easy Valakut Awakening, great spell land, and yeah, just add that to the ever-growing list of spell lands our deck has. Hellhound number 3, I mean, these cards are just premium in our deck. Just premium. Double Cleansing Wildfire. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna cut off the top end here. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Kind of want to maneuver this deck into as much of a beatdown deck as I can now, which I think we can do. None of these cards matter for us. I'm not going to play Bug Catcher. Barely any of our cards have classes. We do have a Warrior, we have a Wizard. They may not even make the deck, so it doesn't matter. I'll probably just take it anyway. Baloth is great, but I guess can't pass a Royal Eruption. That's a late Royal Eruption, pick 8. Baloth would be good too. We have plenty of 4-drops though, so we actually needed this removal pretty badly. You can take a second Hellion. Honestly, I'd probably play it. We'll figure it out. We have the means to play it, that's for sure. None of these cards matter. Banneret's probably the best card. Another Visionary that we just don't really need. Not that it's bad, because it's not, but we just kind of doing better things from what I see. Fissure Wizard, not bad actually, but I don't think we need it. So, cool deck. We don't even have to play white, but triple Prowling Felidar and a landfall deck with all this ramp, I kind of like. And our spell land count is off the charts. This might be a new record for me. Maybe not. I've had a lot of spell lands before. So we have 6. That is a lot. It's a great deck. We have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 lands already. We probably want to play. I, I don't need to count any of these as spells necessarily. So we might be able to get away with 18, especially with the ramp that we have. The Cobra, Wildfire Fixes. Although we are 3-color, we don't have to be 3-color, like I said. If I'm not 3-color, where does that leave me? I would have to cut. I kind of want to play these Prowling Felidars. I think they're going to be able to help take the game over. Like, I'm more okay cutting the Oxen here. Even though I think the Oxen are actually pretty good too. Especially with the amount of ramp that we have. I'm kind of feeling cutting the Sorcerer is a great card. I just feel like it's something that we can cut and still be fine. Doesn't really fit in with our ramp theme that we have going. If I cut this, maybe I cut the Zendikar too, even though I kind of like it with the spell lands. 11, so we're up to what, 17, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Probably want to do 18, 18 or 19. We can cut the Charger. I like that it gives early protection so we don't get bowled over. Might be able to cut 1 Ox. That brings us up to 18. Still have 17 creatures. So 18 lands, 17 creatures. I can pretty easily do 19 lands with all of the spell lands I have. But I would have to cut probably 1 more creature. It could be the Lagak, although I really don't want to cut non-landfall creatures in this stack. I mean, I did just cut McKindy Ox. Or I really don't want to cut landfall creatures in our deck is what I meant. We are looking more beatdown, which makes the splash a little bit less attractive of an option, but it's just so easy to splash with this deck. Double Cleansing, Wildfire, Regrowth, and double Vastwood Surge. Like, we'll be able to find our white mana. And Felidars with a Vastwood Surge or Regrowth or Unreef Ooze, like, they just get outrageously strong fast. And Lotus Cobra to fix too, yeah. Um, Maybe I can get away with 18 lands. But I've run 19 with 2-color before, like 1 more cut. It might be the Charger. I don't want to cut the Charger, but I guess 3 Hellhounds, Gnarled Colonies. I'm okay. I'm okay. So how many white sources do we want? I'm still okay with the Stampede, especially with like Cobra too. If you do a landfall plus play Stampede as cast, that's insane. So, or if you have like a Gnarled Colony out, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. So we can probably get away with maybe 2 or 3 white sources. And then way more red than green, but we do need quite a bit of green to actually play our ramp spells. So let's try this is 7 green, maybe 8 green, and then 4 more red. So this is 8 green, 8 red, 3 white. Yeah, I think that's actually fine. We need red and green early. So 883 is fine. Another option is to maybe cut. No, I think this is fine. It's a cool deck. It is a cool deck. We'll see what we can do with it. Doing some Naya landfall. Hopefully we can do something impressive with it. All right, we'll run it like this. We'll see you round one. All right, round one. This is definitely a keepable hand. We got the Cobra too, which is nice. We don't have the red mana, but Cobra can help get us there, so certainly an acceptable keep here. All right, opponent mulls to 6 and keeps. The Cobra down. All right, they got us pretty good there, but we found our red mana, so we'll play a Gnarlid Colony now. Can get those back with our Pyroclastic Hellion, which is nice. Cunning Geyser Mage is not bad. That's cool too. Let's do the Elemental. And we can offer the trade with the Elemental. Maybe I should have played the Hellhound actually in hindsight. I've also got the recovery to get back the Elemental. Maybe it's okay to make a trade here too. Because then next turn I can play Hellhound plus get back Elemental. Or I can Vastwood Surge next turn, which is also quite good. I don't really want to trade Elemental for Geyser Mage, to be honest. I think we'll just attack here. Alright, so that's a good draw too. Can do the... see if it gets bigger. Can do the Surge. Get second white mana. And I guess another red. So we'll get in. And actually, Bala Ged Recovery seems pretty good. Because we can get back our Vastwood Surge, and at that point we can even buff up our team and ramp. If we want. Alright, Cleansing Wildfire is pretty sweet too. Let's do that first. And I think we'll just blow up oops. So I think we'll blow up a green mana. Oh, I have it full control. I'm like, what's going on here? We'll take action. We'll get another red mana. Validar's good. So, I think we'll just play the Felidar, and we might just actually drop the Balaged Recovery here. We don't have to. We can wait. But I think I'm actually going to play it. Kind of just gives us a lot of threats. So we still have double Pyroclastic Hellion to get back Balaged Recovery to maybe dig up our Vastwood Surge. We also have another Vastwood Surge in here, which is good. Now I think that we just get in there. And we're just going to have to start looking for our top end here. Of which we have quite a bit, I think. Like I said, the Pyroclastic Hellion now is just nuts. Super helpful. Or we just steal that and kill them. How's that sound? I guess this is the advantage of having... Oh, and I actually can't kill them. Because I don't have a land drop. Whoops. Well, they're at 1, so Pyroclastic Hellion is lethal. That's good. Alright. Alright, we'll see you for the next one. Alright, game 2. We're going to keep this. It's definitely slow, but we're like a green mana away from a pretty good hand here. And we have the Spikefield Hazard, which gives us a little bit of protection. If we don't, we did get the land, which is good. So now we can do the Gnarlid Colony. I'm just going to get it down now. Next turn, I am going to do the Roiling Regrowth. Probably. Oh, that's actually just good news for us. So, I can be patient and wait here, but even just getting like a Pyroclastic Hellion next turn is pretty sweet. Nah, we're going to do the Regrowth. I think Regrowth just makes more sense. So, I guess we want double red. Oops. So then we can play the Felidar, plus get a land down. Could do the Pyroclastic Hellion too, but no, I'm going to do Felidar plus land. I like this more. Alright, so we can go land. So we have a 4/5. I can Vastwood Surge. Bring it up to 6/7, so I can even block the Canopy Bailoff. Which is not bad. But I can also just jam a Gnarlid Colony here too, which I kind of like. I kind of want to get another threat down, to be honest. Can also do the Hellion. I think I'm going to do Gnarlid Colony though. And take it. They don't have Might of Marasa kicked mana, so this is okay. Alright. So, I don't have the second white for that, but I can do... I think we just do probably Hellion. Turning green. Deal 2. Play a land. Get in for 9. And then we'll pass. So they could have like Kazul's Fury here. Alright, we'll see you for the next one. Alright, we've got a good keep here. We don't get to start with Hellhound, unfortunately, but that's alright. It's a good hand. We're going to start with the Treachery so we can play the turn 2 Brushfire Elemental. I think that's how we want to do it. Maybe we actually want to play the Hellhound into the Elemental. So Treachery, Hellhound, turn 3 Elemental land. That's probably more damage. Certainly not the best use of mana, however. Alright, opponent mulls to 5. No play there, so this is actually a good opportunity to play the... No, I guess not. I see. Okay, we'll do the Hellhound. Play the land, and we'll pass. Next turn, we can do the Warrior, so we can do Elemental Warrior. Although, now we don't actually have to. Get it for 5. So, still don't have to. We'll play the land. No, we want to play the white land. For 5. Play the Felidar and pass. Alright. So... I think now we go Felidar number 2. Land. Get in. They can trade with the Elemental. They'll take 5. We'll play another Hellhound. The next turn we can actually go Ox, land, even tap a blocker and just have a boatload of strong things here. Not nearly enough. Yeah. Alright, we'll see you for the next one. Alright, we got a good keep here. We'll do the red mana first. We can hold off on getting the white mana for now. A lot of spell lands in hand, but it doesn't really matter. It's kind of expected for our deck. We have a lot of spell lands in here. Yeah, we still want to start with the warrior. So we'll do the turn 2 colony. It just seems fine to me. Fastwood Surge is good. So we can probably do the turn 3 McKindy Stampede if we want. And kill the cat. Another colony's not bad, but I'm going to kill the cat. Cat's pretty good. So now I can play the Surge. That's a good draw too, but we're still doing the Surge. And we'll get another white mana and a red. So next turn we can drop Hellion if we want. Whirling Regrowth's not bad either. I think Hellion makes the most sense because get back the creature, deal some damage, and we'll actually play the recovery and pass. And now we can drop 4/5 in case they miss their land drop again and don't have removal. They did find their land drop, but if they don't have removal, we can at least keep the Scythe Cat back. Alright, so now we can't keep the Scythe Cat back. So we'll have to take too much here. So we have potentially 7 mana. So we can play Ox plus Gnarlid Colony. We'd probably do that to get the most bodies out there. And at this point, we need to find removal for Scythe Cat. I'm not sure that we have any, though. Alright, we'll go to the next one. Alright, this is a good keep. Lets us potentially get that turn 3 Felidar. This hand can, of course, go sour if our Cobra dies, but if it doesn't, we're looking pretty sweet. Pretty spicy. Yeah, let's get the Cobra down. Finding the red mana also helps, since now we can do turn 3 Felidar, turn 4 kicked Gnarlid Colony. Well, that's good. Looks like they're doing the same thing we are. So we'll get our white mana. And for 2. Next turn, we can play a land, add a white, play the Hellhound plus the Felidar, which is pretty good. Pledge. Right. They missed their land drop in their landfall deck? No. No. I wonder if I'm willing to trade my Cobra. Kind of am, but we'll see. That fledgling gets big quick, so I might be okay with that. Especially after I play this only other white spell in our hand. Yeah, so we'll do this. I'm gonna add white. We go Felidar. And we're gonna attack with both. And if they want to trade it for the Cobra at this point, I'm okay. Yeah, getting their fledgling off the board. Moving quite good. And the next turn we can go land Gnarlid Colony and have yet another pretty big beater. Alright. So now they've got some 3 toughness blockers, but we got the treachery too. Wow. So can steal their Baloth. Yeah, I think we just smash with everything. And then they're in a pretty rocky place there. I mean, they're dead if they do that, so they really have no choice but to chump. Yeah. Alright, we'll see for the next one. It's definitely a keep. Sand needs more lands, but that's why we're running 19. Alright. So we can go land. I think I'm actually going to kill that. My Hellhound just gets so much better with all the ramp effects that we have in here. So I'd rather chill on that. That's a good draw. Let's play a land. Get in for 2. And I think we might actually wait on the colony. I'm going to play the Felidar next turn. And colony's only going to get better the turn after that, so this just makes more sense to me. So we can go land. They're also missing land drops, which is pretty relevant. Get in for 3, see if they have Might of Marasa. I'd say it's just fine with me. So we'll do the Gnarlid Colony. Next turn we can... I guess I could have done the pre-combat Gnarlid Colony to get this trample, but leaving up like I have something, I don't know, felt like a good idea. So Oron Refuse is just so mean here. Wow. So now I think we actually just, yeah, we play McKindy Stampede. We get in for 8. Play the Ooze, target itself. Next turn we play the Hellion, bring back the McKindy Stampede so we can maybe play it again. It doesn't actually matter. Could just play up. Alright. We'll see you for the next one. Well, we're on the draw. We don't have any red mana. We don't have any white mana. This hand is amazing if we draw red mana. We also have green ramp. This hand's a keep. If we get red mana or our ramp effects, we're actually just fine. Alright, drop a colony. So we got the red mana. Now we can go land, Brushfire Elemental, and get in for 3. Then next turn we can go maybe Hellhound. Spitfire Lagax an option. Probably can do that. Landfall, Lagac. Or does Hellhound actually do more damage? But then we can't block that. Well, we can go Hellhound plus Colony. That's probably more damage actually with Cleansing Wildfires. Alright. Alright, last turn. So we'll Wildfire. Kind of wanted to just tap. Unfortunately, my only grievance with Cleansing Wildfire is it's kind of annoying to play. Well, looks like we didn't quite get there. Alright, go to the next one. Alright, this is definitely a keep. Cobra into Vastwood Surge gives us access to a bunch of mana on turn 4. We don't actually have any threats in our hand, but it's okay. Possibly can play Cobra and still follow up with like a Wildfire to draw more, look for something maybe. We'll see. It's pretty cool looking. Alright, so we got another land. I'm not sure if we'll need to actually play the McKindy Stampede, because with Lotus Cobra we could potentially cast it. Alright, that was a good draw. So let's get our Cobra down. We can get the turn 3 Felidar if it doesn't die. Alright, it's good news. Another draw, that's good. So we'll add our white. Get our Felidar. And pass. So next turn, land, add, Vastwood Surge. And I think we're actually one shy of Felidar at that point. So they cashed out their spare supplies. Yeah, let's see if we can do this. So we don't have our white, so we need to add white in order to even do this in the first place. So I have 5. I have Vastwood Surge, I'm left with 1 left. Plus 2 more, which is 3 mana. So instead, I think I'm just going to do the Felidar, second one, and get in for 5. This sets us up for a better one next turn with Surge plus Wildfire for just huge, huge benefit here. Did not get the land, but that's not a big deal. So we'll play the land now. Well, I guess we can do Surge first. Can add 2 red. Cleansing Wildfire. Blow up green. Get another green. Another landfall. Can add another white, I guess. Play a land. Add green if we want. Can play the Gnarlid Colony. Suppose that's actually fine. Yeah, because we're going to do McKindy Stampede next turn, if they even live. Plus it gives these trample. Yeah, I think that's worth it. They can't even double block and kill 1. Chumping doesn't even do anything because we give trample. Alright, we'll see for the next one. Alright, it's definitely a keep. Hellhound into Colony. Goes for some early beatings. Guess we have Spike Field Hazard too if we need it. It's a good draw, but we don't have the white mana just yet. We'll figure that out though. Alright. I think I'm willing to 2-for-1 myself here. I wish I could do something better than this, but I was kind of also hoping they wouldn't block there, but it's okay. Alright, they're getting some tasty card advantage going. That was a good draw. Looks like they were deciding to kill it or not. Red, black, draw cards. I haven't seen this archetype before, but looks pretty sweet. I mean, they're certainly going to win if we don't find our spell lands. We've actually ripped 0 spell land. No, that's not true. We had the Spike Field Hazard. So, guess there's not actually... Well, we want to burn them, I suppose. Alright. Alright. That was a good draw, so we'll go land. Attack for 2. Drop the Hellion. Bounce a green mana. Burn him for 2. Pass. Sure. So we go land, fastwood surge. Attack here. Threatens lethal. They block with the Fissure Wizard. They can't double block and kill it, so I think just this is fine. You didn't have any gas left in the tank anyway, so it's actually okay. So play a Hellhound and pass. So we can steal a Coom Warrior. But it's not quite enough, so I think we're going to be a little more patient. Especially if we can play a land and then steal a Coom Warrior. Especially if they inflate that too, yeah. Alright, Oron Reef Ooze is cool. But not quite there yet. Pretty close. Well, I wanted them to inflate there. No play is a little bit worrisome. I guess we steal. Although now maybe it's better to just play the Ox and tap the Warrior. Because I feel like they're going to have a kill spell anyway. So they've got 8 mana, they can inflate Ambusher twice, making it 5. So they're currently representing 9 damage if they pump twice. They're at 1 life. Any land would get them. No priest kicked, getting back Fissure Wizard to loot. That's pretty good. Oh, they don't want to loot though? That's worrisome. Cleansing Wildfire is of course good, so we're gonna do that. And yeah, I guess we can keep forgetting. So do the Wildfire, blow up red land. And I guess we can get another one. Draw. Tap there. No priest, probably. We'll go land, cleansing wildfire, blow up a red, get a green. Tap this. Go land. Tap this. 3 attackers and pump. Alright. Alright. So we ended up going 7-2, I think. So I've had the most success with landfall in this format. Like I said, it's the easiest deck to build, I think. Whether it be Naya, Boros, Selesnya, whatever. It's the least reliant on creature types. You're just looking for landfall creatures or kicker stuff. So that's a big bonus with it. You get last pick Cleansing Wildfires, which, as that game demonstrated, are like amazing cards for the deck. You get last pick Akum Hellhounds. So you get last pick cards for it in packs. It's not reliant on creature types or creatures in general, you know, like rogues and clerics and all that. You don't need tribal cards. You do want landfall cards, but you can settle for fatties because you're usually ramping. You can fix easily. It's aggressive. It's strong. You get a lot of different spell lands that are great for the deck, so you can run a lot more lands. I don't know. I've just found it to be the best deck for me to draft in this format. And this is a really challenging format to draft in. I don't know if you guys have been having the trouble I have, but it's so easy to just have a draft not go your way because so many of the cards require other cards to be good, otherwise they're very mediocre. So if that archetype, you know, maybe you thought the first 8 picks that was open, it gets cut off, you're kind of screwed because pivoting is really hard in this format. If you end up pivoting, you don't end up getting the advantage of spell lands usually because you have to prioritize actual playables over the spell lands. So very challenging format to draft. So I say go for, at this point, go for the easiest thing to draft, which I think is landfall. But like I said, that's just my opinion. Maybe you guys have found something that works for you. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you for the next one.